So here we are on the eve of the Forsaken expansion, and it's that time where we're going to talk about power leveling inside of this expansion. So of course, in this video we're going to break down a bunch of ways that you can power level very quickly, some things to take advantage of, to ultimately hit that character cap of 50 and the new power level cap of 600. I also have a bunch of general tips that I think are going to be useful for every player, whether you want to absolutely rush through this, or whether you want to take it a little bit easier, enjoy the campaign and all of that kind of stuff. The last thing I really wanted to do is make a video telling you guys what to do. The idea of this video is to provide a bunch of different options and things that you can take advantage of however you want to actually play in this expansion. So we're going to talk about the new power level cap and various ways to approach it in the first few days especially. So if you guys do enjoy the video, a rating below is super appreciated. If you're new around here, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more Destiny 2 content. But for now, let's get straight into it. So like I said, I wanted to provide a bunch of useful tips and things to think about, different ways to approach power leveling in Forsaken. As I mentioned before though, you can really approach this however you want to. I guess the first question we should ask ourselves is, should you power level or rush through this expansion? Well, like I said, that really comes down to you. There will be ways to do this very efficiently, get through it relatively quickly, and that's absolutely fine if that's what you want to do. At the same time though, there is absolutely nothing wrong with taking it easy, enjoying the new story, and experiencing this new expansion. Of course, we don't get huge launches like this, every other month or anything, and especially considering we have a little bit of extra time before we get raids and the higher power level kind of achievements and activities, there is absolutely no reason to rush through this if you don't want to. Having said that though, like I said, I do have a bunch of tips that you can use however you decide to approach this. So let's list some things that we should all do before we go into Forsaken. So definitely, I think having some fire team medallions on you is going to be very beneficial. On top of this, an exotic ghost shell with 10% XP gains, whether it's in general or on specific locations. Having some of these around is going to be pretty useful however you want to approach this. On top of this, definitely go and pick up bounties from the vendors. So of course in the tower you do have the Crucible and the Strikes, those will be useful. Hawthorne is going to get new clan bounties, and of course there will be other new bounties available at other vendors, but we probably won't see those until later on in the campaign. So pick up any bounties that you can in the tower, but also another recommendation before you get going is to just try and have a little bit of space. Don't have a full postmaster, try and avoid having a full character inventory because of course we're going to be getting a lot more gear dropped a lot more frequently as we go through this campaign. So it's definitely best to keep track of it if you want to take advantage of the power level stuff that you're receiving. Those are just a few things that are definitely worth thinking about as you go into the campaign. But like I said, there are two different approaches. So first up, you may just want to play the story, relax and enjoy. Like I said, we don't get big launches like this all the time. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. The other approach, of course, is to farm the living hell out of the game for XP and pre-soft cap gear. Now, what some people have done throughout various Destiny 2 expansions is actually go and grind a ton before they start the new DLC campaign. Now, this has a number of benefits, which we'll talk about in a moment, but of course the new base level is 50, and then we have the new power level 600. Really, you do want to get to base level 50 as soon as possible, because it's just going to enable you to equip as many different types of gear and get into all of the different content. And of course, if you are doing the big pre-story grind, then you can farm public events and patrols. So of course, if you farm public events with an XP ghost shell for that particular location, and fire team medallions if you're actually in a fire team, then you're going to see a lot of XP gains from the events themselves, but also a lot of pre-soft cap gear. So especially if you can run with a fire team of 3, you're going to do really well here, because what you can do is have one of your players actually clear nearby patrol missions as you do all the public events. That's going to land you additional XP, especially EDZ and Nessus are super efficient. These are the farms that people always use because you have so many different public events coming up. So if you've also got a ghost shell for those locations or a general 10% XP shell on, you'll be clearing public events in groups course, clearing patrol missions, also getting bonus XP from those ghost shells, that is going to be the most efficient way to power level up to the new base character cap of 50. And like I said, of course, you'll be getting a lot of pre-soft cap gear here. But of course, you could also do the public event side of things solo. And there's also the potential that you could double dip into certain events and things like that. So with a fire team is definitely the optimal way to do it, but it does work solo as well. And if you are going with this approach, I'd say it's best to try and hit level 50 before you do the campaign and increase your power level as much as you can. Maybe you get to 450 or 480. And this is going to speed up the process and produce better rewards at the end of the campaign, because of course we do tend to get exotic drops at different points in the campaign. There will be exotic quests that kind of stem off of the campaign. And so of course, if you're clearing this and you're already at a good power level, then it means you're going to get better, powerful gear drops, as you do the campaign and from the post-campaign rewards. So it basically means that you're maximizing your potential using this method. Whether you're doing the relaxed or the intense approach though, let's talk about the soft cap. So the soft cap, of course, is the point in time where general gear that you're getting dropped, the blues and purples that are coming from public event chests and things like that, stop providing you with a major power increase. So it could be that the soft cap is around about 500, for example. If you get up to that level and then you're not seeing any level improvement from the stuff you're getting dropped, that means we've actually hit the soft cap. And this is where only powerful rewards and milestones will actually work. So where can you get pre-soft cap gear from? Like I said, public events are going to produce a very good amount of pre-soft cap gear. Also, strikes and crucible will be pretty good, but of course the big one would be the vendors, especially if you have lots of materials. So I do think it's better to try and power level through the gameplay element, but you can also use vendors if you have a lot of materials to get pre-soft cap gear, and of course new random rolls, mods and things like that. So Banshee in particular, I think is going to be a pretty popular guy in the first few days in Forsaken. The key thing, like I said, is to remember that if you're still being rewarded with blues or purples that are benefiting you, but they're not powerful drops from milestones, then that means you are still under that soft cap. Once you get to the point where that stops helping though, definitely start to approach the milestones in the game. And this is the same whether you're relaxing or whether you're going for the super fast approach. You're going to want to save milestones for after the soft cap, of course. But on top of this, ultimately, you do want to try and clear them before the end of the week, as we do get the 4-day reset. Now, this is something we're not entirely sure of when things are happening, but on the main weekly reset, of course, we get all of the raids reset, we get Eververse reset, a new series of milestones, flashpoints, nightfalls, and all of that kind of stuff. After 4 days, that is actually going to reset again, and we'll get new weekly challenges for the Crucible, new nightfalls, a new flashpoint, more Gambit challenges, and things like that. So Bungie mentioned the 4-day reset previously. On the Saturday, which has just gone 4 days after the reset, a bunch of challenges actually became available. And so it looks like the main 4-day reset will be, on the Saturday. So you have Tuesday, then you have the Saturday reset, but it also looks like a bunch of stuff changed on Thursday. So I completed the Crucible challenges for the week, and I did these on Tuesday, I believe it was. On Thursday, some more came up, and then on Saturday, some more came up again. So those are the kind of intervals that have happened this past week. I think the 4-day reset will be the main one, so Saturday would be the main opportunity to get powerful gear again. So it is something to bear in mind. Take a look at all of the milestones in the milestone tray on the left, but also the destinations for their various challenges. As we saw, it was possible earlier this week to get powerful gear from one of the heroic adventures on Mars, which is pretty crazy. Definitely, my recommendation would be to try and clear any of those milestones, get to the soft cap by maybe Thursday or Friday if that's actually possible, because they are going to come back up again and we'll get a bunch of other powerful gear opportunities. This is going to be a big part of power leveling in the first couple of weeks. The only issue is we don't have all of the information on exactly when these resets happen. So during the first week, there may be some missed opportunities because we simply don't know what's going to happen, but I will keep you guys posted on how all of that plays out. Like I said, it's going to be pretty influential during the power leveling process. So now, I wanted to just round up a bunch of tips in general. The first tip, definitely try to fire team up if you can. Whether you're going the super fast approach, grinding public events, trying to get XP and pre-soft cap gear really quickly before you do the campaign. Of course, having a fire team with you is very beneficial, and then inside of the campaign as well, having that bit of backup is definitely not a bad thing, plus you can all stack up medallions and things like that. The next tip would be to attempt to partly complete some milestones. So if you're actually going through the game, you know, if you find yourself playing a couple of Crucible matches or a strike or two, but you're not at the level to actually complete the milestones yet, then you could do part of those milestones as you get some of the gear from those activities in general, but then of course hold on to them until you have hit that soft cap. Just bear in mind that double weekly reset that we've got to try and figure out 100%. Here's a big one though, daily heroic missions. So we have the new heroic mission playlist. This is definitely going to produce pre-soft cap gear. Bungie had also said that it will have the opportunity to produce legendary gear and powerful gear throughout the week and on different days. Of course, these challenges will show up in the game, but definitely don't miss out on the daily heroic story playlist. And once again, check for daily challenges on the director. So some of these only come up every day and then they refresh. Definitely try and clear them before they disappear, because you do have a chance at legendary gear. You know, it could be filling out your character with different slots and pieces that you kind of need upgrading, or indeed you could get some powerful loot. Some of the powerful loot will come up on different days. The final tip I would really love to give you guys is to have fun, of course. There's always a lot of conversation when you do this kind of video. You know, I don't want to rush. All these guys, man, telling everybody to rush the game, and then they're all going to go and complain on Reddit and YouTube comments for the next 6 months. And I don't really disagree with you, to be honest, whatsoever, anyone who feels like that. Like I said, the objective in this video is to just give you guys the information, so that for any stuff you don't know about, hopefully you can hear about it in this video, and then everyone can kind of make their own decisions about how they approach everything in the game. The only reason I'm personally going after power level inside of Forsaken, you know, relatively quickly, is that I want to be able to access any content that I can make videos about and all of that kind of stuff for you guys. Otherwise, honestly, I'm all about just enjoying the experience as much as possible. So I am 100% on the side of everyone who just wants to take it easy, you know? So let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know how you're going to approach Forsaken and the grind to 600, as well as that day one grind. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff we have to learn about, so I'm probably going to update this video later this week if we do have substantial information, which presumably we will, considering we'll be going through the game. But anyway, if you've enjoyed the video for now, guys, a like below is very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit subscribe if you want to see a lot more D2 content. For now though, I very much appreciate you tuning in as always, and whatever you guys get up to, I hope you have an awesome time in Forsaken.